Welcome to another edition of Sacred Mountain Battle Reports, Lasalle, version 2. The date is 1813, and some Prussians and Russians have caught the French unawares and on the march. I'm going to let Byron explain the scenario.
We're doing a version of Scenario 7 from Lasalle, 2nd edition. And the army on the march has been caught off guard and attacked while on the march. The commander of the ambushing army recognizes a special opportunity and is rushing to engage before all his forces have arrived. There's a balanced force of 600 against 600. And the objectives is 8 turns to inflict carnage or sudden death at 1/3. We're doing late period of 1813. ADCs, howitzer are both in play. A new huzzah rule, and that's it. If you earn a huzzah, you have 1 disrupt removed and 1 free move that is not a charge.
Let's move now to the secret French war conference.
Okay. We are the French.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la. John is our commander-in-chief today and is going to give us marching orders. What are we doing, John?
So it looks like they're putting a lot of pressure on Grover's side of the table.
Imagine that.
So what I want you to do is set up a grand battery in the center to try and take out Joe's battery up on the hill.
Okay.
And I'm going to be helping you with that.
Okay.
So send your troops to help support Grover against the Byron.
Okay.
And then I'll put pressure on Joe on the flank to try and keep his guns.
Keep them occupied.
Keep them occupied.
Okay. I took artillerists for.
Oh, good.
Just because I need one grand battery.
I took energetic.
I'm taking Valiant. And what are my orders, Johnny?
Don't die.
Okay, thanks.
Well, you took Valiant.
Yeah.
Great.
Russian foot pressure.
So I don't feel like rushing is a great choice because I think Byron has superior
Oh, right, yeah.
numbers.
Well, if I'm there on your flank helping.
So should I move to the far right to kind of secure that flank and then okay.
Me in the center, I'm probably being harassed by Joe.
Joe definitely.
I would really like to see Joe get charged a lot and early, like blast over. That's what I would like to see. Like have you stay in march and just go right at his flanks.
Why broke? He's there in a hateful grudge.
I intend to put a lot of pressure on him.
Well then, sorry,
Right.
Joe.
All right, thanks.
Don't get me wrong, we love Joe. And I love Joe, but I'm tired of those Russian guns. This is turn 1 skirmish, 5 to hour 0. We're a little rusty on the rules, but not super rusty. Here's Byron's aggressive first move with his infantry, and Joe, as expected, with the artillerist on that hill. Here's Byron bombarding.
This battery is firing upon the 2nd Cavalry Unit. What's to hit?
You need to roll less dice for one thing.
It's 4 per cannon. 1, 2, 6, 4.
Well, that's a penetrating analysis.
There you go. No hits.
No hit.
I don't think Byron was really expecting to do much with that anyway, but here comes Joe with his first bombardment fire coming in at the French on the road. Happened to be, of course, my French, as always. 10 hits here, brutal. Oh wait, no, 14 hits. And I'll spare you Joe's die rolling. He only needed to roll 2 6s on 14d6. So to catch you up on the action, they ended up passing, and the French were able to start moving, did global formation change, and advance these French elite into Joe's face. now within 4 base widths, and so the infantry across from me can volley fire. That stand has taken 5 hits so far. He's probably rolling for disruptions here. These guys are elite. They wound on a 5 or 6. Looks like 4 wounds there. Here comes the remaining of his volley fire. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hits. And his disrupts on 5 or higher. 1, 2, 3. Back to my turn with some ineffectual volleying here versus Joe's Russians. 1 disrupt there. But when the Prussians got close to my cannons, they were in volley range, and we roughed them up pretty good. Well, actually only one disruption there, but I get 8 shots there to disrupt. I don't know if I roll 1, 2, 3, just 3 there. But did pretty good. I think my superior generalship showed here. Actually not. Byron was playing really aggressively, and he had the energetic, and so I was able. I'm kind of setting up a countercharge with my French right there, because I have Valiant, so I can re-roll 1s and 2s in close combat, but he can get into close range before I can fire back. This is me rolling for some disruptions. I think I got 4 on that. Yeah, 4 on that group of infantry that I got 6 hits on. And I've got another 6 hits coming in at this next group. Looks like 1, 2, 3 hits on that group. These Prussians obviously aren't elite. They disrupt on a 4+. And I should note that the way that we're playing, we don't know how many disruptions are on the opposing infantry or cavalry or cannons. Here's some cool model eye views of the battlefield. I like the way that this turned out, so I want to show you all these. This is, about midway or about the entirety of turn 1 here. So my French are kind of trying to castle up here, and those are some serious Russian guns that we are facing. Those are Jason's French that came over to assist and protect my flank, and here are Jason's grand batteries facing off against the Russians. It's kind of looking pretty grim. I would say these guys are really fun to play with. Each of them are complete gentlemen and have no ego wrapped up into this game. And I especially don't, since I'm always making terrible decisions. Here comes some Russians firing down into my French. And here are some French coming in on Joe's flank, just as we discussed in our secret conference, and having some ineffectual fire of those cannons into that column of, only 3 hits there. And here's Mr. Aggressive, the Prussians, coming in at my flanks, and I'm really kind of baiting them with the cannon, to be honest. I figured the cannons were probably lost, just trying to get them in. Ooh, there are lots of hits coming in against my French. These elite French, I believe it's that center one that took just these 2 French on the right, end up forming square and just holding the front line as the whole line shifts. Whoa, I don't know where I went there. Looks like 6 hits on this far right artillery. Oh yeah, and Byron is such a great roller. That's a scoop. Got 4 more to disrupt. Can't remember if he disrupts these or not. I don't think he does. No. Oh, cocked. Nothing. So this is 2 on 1, 2 on 1, but it's not, it just didn't work out. It's a statistical improbability. Jason got wiped there by getting double teamed. Here I've got some Russians coming in to my French elites. It was only by the good graces of the Emperor that I was, this is me coming into him, I think, actually. And yeah, scoop. So that's bad. More close range volley fire. We we are about ready to start charging some Russian guns. John's getting into the fight over here and really turning the Russian right flank, and the whole battlefield ends up shifting as the result. Turn 2 skirmish, French win 7-1. The Prussians got 0. Back to the melee at the base of the hill. The Russians are actually doing really good against the French elites. Here's some Prussian bombardment, and he's rolling to disrupt. Now the 1st or 2nd Dragoons. Oh, some bombardment into my flanks. Only one got some bounces though. Three bounces so far. Rolling for disruption. Nothing. Disrupting these other French. Nothing, I don't think. Yep. Here we have a melee. Cavalry on cavalry. Looks like Joe got bounced. Last of the French bombardment from my ranks. Lots of bounces here though. Jason bombarding onto the Russian guns on the hill. He has artillerist, which is very powerful and gets to reroll misses. Now, there's no bounce even when you're bombarding from a different level, at least in our games. So he's got looks like 4 batteries of guns bombarding with re-rolling misses. This is pretty devastating. Last gun. You can see in the background that John's turning that left flank too. Rolling for disruptions. He's going to need 6s to disrupt these guns. And he gets it. He only needed 2 and he'll disrupt a gun. Or kill a gun. And here we have, these are some French really trying to take care of some impetuous Prussians there. And then my French firing into these Jaegers on the hill. My French charging into, nice legs. My French charging into those Prussians. And my general did valiant, so I got to re-roll. And this hurts. That's a volley. That is a major, major volley. And this is where my line is going to fold. Lots and lots of... those are 5s and 6s, so those are all disruptions into my cavalry. They're gone. Nice little arc shot. You can see the flank kind of getting turned where they're kind of trying to collapse in on that their right side. Our left flank, their right flank. They're trying to hold right here with just cavalry in the backfield, but we have French cavalry charging over the hill, backed up by John's infantry. And you can see the Russians are bugging out with their limbered guns. Quite the spectacle. And those are Cossacks, which are kind of cool because they add skirmish value, but they're cavalry. It's the only one in the game. But they only have one, I think, each. Here comes skirmish for turn 3. Byron collecting his 6s. We'll have a total for you right there. Good lord, that was fast. It's 7-9 French favor. Here we've got some cavalry. Looks like a oh yeah, that might be a pickup for Joe. Those Russian cavalry just no match for the French heavy cavalry. Here's where I mentioned those were actually Jason's French elites. There's a lot of bounces from more cannon fire from the French Grand Battery over here. Lots and lots. Bounce, 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 bounce. A little disorganized over there, but we know what we're doing. We're professionals. It doesn't look it, but we do. We know. Oh my gosh, that's really bad. Hopefully that's disruption. That's really bad for Joe. We're trying to figure out which is which here. That hill's a little steep for him. Jason just keeps pounding him with the cannons. The swirling melee on the French, those are my elites. They did so good. They really held up well. And this other French battalion here is going to basically be the front line. Quick turn. Here we are, turn 4. That was 8-3 skirmish. So they win skirmish. We are cruising now. The camera may have gotten a little jittery because I drank a Rockstar. Five hits on my elite infantry and square there. This is really the last stand of the Russian cavalry. And then we even have our French trying to shoot at those Cossacks, but they keep retreating. And I'm trying to kind of keep from triggering sudden death and moving my troops to the back line that can't rally or that are a little damaged, and letting John's troops try to kind of mop up. Look at those elite French in a beautiful square protecting the entire French line. I mean, they just really held them up. That was ugly. Cannon right into some flanks. Byron's not happy about that. Sorry, Byron. And that was the entirety of a turn. Here we are, skirmish, turn 5. French win with 1 skirmish point remaining. No extra momentum is awarded. This is the Prussians took that hill to get a better vantage point, but unfortunately they made themselves a giant target for the French artillery. And John just doesn't have anything better to shoot at. He's not going to shoot at those Cossacks that are all on the side of the board. Byron's still trying to dislodge that square. And there go the Lancers. Those are Byron's beautiful Prussian Lancers. Just a quick look at my dead 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battalions lost so far. We needed to lose 12 total. Now you can see the front line has completely shifted. I've got those are my French squares right there in the far right, and then Jason's there on the left. And you can see our battle line is now the short table edges after John successfully turned that flank. I think we're talking it out here, trying to decide, are we going to keep going or not? And I think we decided not. This was a really narrow French victory, just based on the points of units killed. None of us got to sudden death, which I was surprised about, but I was pretty happy with the way I played, but I just got hammered. Of course, I lost the most out of anybody, and I'm a little impetuous of a player. Valiant's hard to play against energetic. You need to be real cautious, real cagey about playing your Valiant general intervention versus another opponent that has energetic. Energetic's very good, very, very good. All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for tuning in to another Sacred Mountain Battle Report. And here is your moment of Zen.